CIO, Labour Zionism's got to go. AFL, CIO, Labour Zionism's got to go.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to the Struggle Video News. We want to start with something uplifting. The occupation of Liberty Island by 400 Jews opposed to the genocide against Gaza. Some 400 people surrounded the Statue of Liberty and held banners for an hour. Boats to the island were suspended. And then people left. There were no arrests. An amazing demonstration. In Middletown, Connecticut, hundreds marched and rallied against the genocide.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Stop the genocide now!
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 Stop
and many, alhamdulillah, lots of other organizations, peace organizations and interfaith organizations and all the Muslim organizations have signed this statement. So I'll let Brother Isa, read it for us.
Solidarity!
May peace be upon you. United in our commitment to justice and humanity, we undersigned leaders of the mosques and interfaith organizations of Connecticut express our profound concern for the people of Gaza. We condemn indiscriminate violence against all civilians. In Gaza, over 5,800 Palestinians, including more than 2,300 children, have been murdered, with over 16,000 wounded. Hospitals are overwhelmed, and entire neighborhoods lie in ruins. Strikes on hospitals that shelter thousands of displaced and desperate people caused untold suffering for innocent Gazans. We demand our elected representatives call for an immediate ceasefire to end the violence in Gaza. We demand that they call for adequate water, food, medicine, fuel, medical equipment to enter Gaza in compliance with international law. We call upon United Nations to intervene and investigate the many war crimes being committed in Gaza. We strongly commend Israel's bombing targeting homes, schools, hospitals, mosques, and ancient church, entire neighborhoods, and border crossings. Civilians have been told to leave now, but there is no safe place for over 1 million civilians to take shelter. The cutting off essential supplies is a war crime, and we reject military aid to Israel as it implicates the U.S. in war crimes. We reject claims by Israel and Biden administration that these attacks on civilians are simply, and I quote, self-defense.
It is not a self-defense. Self-defense does not allow for killing innocent people. This is not a self-defense. This is a genocide. Yes. Right. Solidarity.
We are appalled and condemn the lies and dehumanization of the Palestinian people by the media and our elected officials, including the president, which has tragically led to hate crimes, including the murder of a 6-year-old Palestinian child in Chicago.
Wadia.
It has been 75 years with more than 750,000 Palestinians who were made refugees and never allowed to return to their homes. These displaced people have grown to 7 million, in addition to the thousands more ethnically cleansed from their land. It has been 56 years since the illegal occupation that has robbed Palestinian lands for illegal Israeli settlements and have brutalized the civilian population. Israeli settlers supported by an extremist far-right government and their occupation forces continuing to kill Palestinian civilians on their own land daily. Gaza has been murdered, has been under an inhuman siege for 17 years. We demand our elected officials and representatives push for an end to siege of Gaza, an end to the occupation, working towards a just solution that upholds the legitimate rights and aspiration of the Palestinian people, including their autonomy, security, and safety. Justice is the only road to peace. Finally, we pray to God to protect the vulnerable and aid those who are oppressed and suffering from hunger, thirst, and homelessness and desperation. We call upon our leaders and people of faith and conscience to remember our obligations to God and our ultimate accountability. Thank you very much. Thank you, Asa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know that every single one of you here today has seen what's happening. You've seen the media live. I know that you've seen innocent lives being killed. And how can you turn your heart away from what's happening? What have you been doing? What have you been doing to end this problem? There's so many things we can do right now, and the last thing we should be doing is staying silent. Dua, make your dua, guys. Your dua is so powerful, it can go up to the heavens and save these people. We should never stop talking. Never remain silent when you know it is your right to speak. Every single one of you here has a mouth, and I know you can all use it for Palestine.
Yes. Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Not another nickel. Not another dime.
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 No more money for.
I just want to make two brief points. First, that we should do everything in our power to help these people, but any inconvenience that you face, whether on a college campus, at work, wherever you are, anything that you would consider an inconvenience does not matter and is not an inconvenience, because inconvenience is digging up your entire family under the rubble, finding out that your whole family has died, and then helping other families survive and escape, trying to do surgery with limited medical supplies. That's inconvenience. And anything that we go through here does not matter. It's not about us, it's about the people in Gaza. And my second point, very quickly, is just that Arab and Muslim men, whenever they're portrayed in the media, it's always terrorists, they've committed a crime, they've done something bad, but nobody's talking about the men in Gaza that are heroes, because they're going through the pain of losing their whole family, and they're still helping other people survive, and they're staying strong, and their faith is strong. So, and I know it's important, obviously, to talk about the women and the children that are dying, but the men in Gaza too are staying strong, and they are heroes. And
I mainly want to talk about the protests in Brooklyn that I went to. I honestly have to say that was one of the most beautiful experiences that I've ever went to, where it was thousands of people flooding the street. And I think the main thing that really stuck in my head from that day was when we were marching for Palestine, there was a line of Jews just standing there, and they were chanting the same things we were, was free Palestine and no to Zionism, and they were screaming their hearts out with us. And then there was this particularly beautiful and powerful moment where you had this Jewish boy and this Palestinian boy holding hands, and they were chanting together, and they were chanting for Palestine. And everyone took out their cameras, of course. Everyone wanted to capture that, because that's the type of thing no one expects. The media doesn't show, is you have your Jews, you have your Palestinians holding hands together, and they both understand what's wrong. They both understand this needs to end. They both understand that people are dying. And the sign I have here, how many more kids need to die? Honestly, how many? We've already gotten to the point where this has already gone too far. There's not really much left of Gaza left to save, and that's heartbreaking to say. But that's the truth, is the people in Gaza themselves, they're saying, we don't know what's gonna happen after this ends. We don't really know if we want to live after this ends, because you destroyed everything. You destroyed our homes, our hospitals, our mosques, our education. You're leaving them on a strip of land to have nothing. So this doesn't end even if a ceasefire is called, because it's already gone too far, and it needs a group effort. And it's honestly heartbreaking that the governments aren't noticing this. No, I'm sorry, they are noticing this. They're not doing anything about this. How are they blind to this? We all know that they're not standing up for peace of the Palestinians. We all know they're not standing up for the peace of Gaza. We all know that they want this to continue because it helps them, it aids them. They're powerful together. But we are more powerful than them. When we storm Grand Central, when we storm Brooklyn, when we take over Middletown, when we take over everywhere, we're more powerful than them. They won't silence us. Their media won't control us. Nothing that they do can take away from the power of the people, because we make up Earth. We make up Palestine. We make up Gaza. You cannot stand against the people. So free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free
and never stop talking about Palestine, never stop praying for Palestine, because we are on the right side of history.
On a previous program, you heard from Dr. Mads Gilbert, a Norwegian physician trying to get into the Gaza Strip to be able to work at hospitals there. He did somehow make it in, and he has posted this very short but powerful remarks to world leaders. I want to give a serious trigger warning. You're going to hear sounds. It is not yells of protest. It is screams of people inside the hospital.
President Biden, President Biden, President Biden, Mr. Blinken, can you hear me? Prime ministers and presidents of the European countries, can you hear me? Can you hear the screams from Shifa Hospital, from Al-Auda's hospital? Can you hear the screams from innocent people, refugees sheltering, trying to find a safe place, being bombed by the Israeli attack forces this morning inside the hospital? Hospitals that are the temples of humanity and protection. When are you going to stop this? You're all complicit.
Here is journalist Sam Husseini at a White House press conference, telling it like it is. He explains that those who are complicit in the genocide may one day face legal jeopardy.
Risk facing criminal and civil liabilities for aiding and abetting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity under international law, and may face investigation and prosecution. Do members of the State Department face similar possibilities?
Again,
Craig Mokhiber, who just resigned as director of the New York office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, noted that intent, usually the hardest part of genocide to prove, isn't in this case. He wrote in his resignation letter, quote, "Explicit statements of intent by leaders in the Israeli government and military leave no room for doubt or debate." You claim that you want Israel to make the distinction, but you don't seem to be making the distinction. If I might, I didn't interrupt you. The Center for Constitutional Rights just put out a statement. Legal organizations put members of Congress on notice for complicity on genocide. Quote, "Please take note," this is a letter that they sent to members of Congress, Center for Constitutional Rights. "Please take notice that should you vote in favor of that package, the Biden package for Israel, you risk facing criminal and civil liabilities for aiding and abetting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity under international law, and may face investigation and prosecution." Do members of the State Department face similar possibilities?
Again, Sam, as I said, we have the U.S. government has a rigorous process in place for evaluating whether something constitutes genocide, and we have not made that assessment in this case.
But you continue to pretend that the bombing of hospital after hospital, bakery after bakery, university after university, and somehow you keep pretending that, oh, they're just after military people.
Senator Fetterman of Pennsylvania had the gall to walk around waving a little Israeli apartheid flag. Veterans from the group About Face denounced him and chanted against what he stands for.
Boo! Boo! Shame! Shame!
What a genocide! What a genocide! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it?
You do a disservice to Pennsylvania.
When do we want it?
A classroom in Gaza, in apparently a Catholic school. School is out for these children forever. Ahed Tamimi was put in prison when she was 19 for slapping an Israeli soldier on a day when another Israeli soldier shot and permanently injured one of her cousins. She became a worldwide symbol of resistance to oppression. The Israelis picked her up again this week. Now, parts of a rally in New York City by union members who are angry at top AFL-CIO officials for their backing of Israel during its genocide campaign.
Unions in this country, union leaderships in this country have been complicit with Zionism for a century, since the Balfour Declaration, and have continued this whole century to be part of the ethnic cleansing and the oppression of Palestine. And today there is a growing resistance within labor to stop and to stand on the side of Palestine. Last week, workers on the West Coast of the Block the Boat movement and ILW Local 10 stopped an Israeli ship from docking in Oakland, as they have done since 2014 consistently. Hooray! Those kinds of actions are spreading, and all that we can say is we will stand with Palestine, we will stand for a free Palestine from the river to the sea, and we will not give up. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! AFL, CIO, Labour Zionism's got to go! AFL, CIO, Labour Zionism's got to go! AFL, CIO, Labour Zionism's got to go!
Hi everybody, my name is Samar and I'm here with the Palestinian Youth Movement. We're an organization of Palestinian and Arab youth organizing across the US, Canada and Europe. We believe in the total liberation of Palestine, and this is what we organize towards. Today and in this moment we're calling three demands: an immediate ceasefire, an end to the siege on Gaza, and an end to all US aid to the Zionist state. We're all here today because we know that the AFL-CIO is complicit in the genocide of the Palestinian people. The genocide that is happening right now and the genocide that has been happening and that has been going on for decades and decades. We know that the leadership of the AFL-CIO has tirelessly worked to squash efforts by rank-and-file workers who have stood in solidarity with the Palestinian people, such as in 2021 when the AFL-CIO leadership blocked the San Francisco Labor Council from debating a resolution on BDS. But we must know, as Comrade Michael also pointed out, that the AFL-CIO's support of colonization and genocide did not just begin in 1948. It began from the very beginning of the imperialist occupation of Palestine in 1917, when the AFL endorsed the Balfour Declaration, which was the British promise to support the creation of a Zionist state in Palestine. This created the entire backbone of the genocidal project that we're witnessing today.
Thank you, Samar. Across the labour movement in New York City, from many different unions, many different fronts of the workers' struggle. Next up, we have Luigi from the Teamsters, who's a UPS driver.
Hi everyone, I will try to speak as loud as possible. I'm Luigi, I'm a socialist, I'm a member of The Voice. I work at UPS, but I am a warehouse worker, I work part-time there, different from the drivers. I'm Teamster member, and for me it's very important that we are here. I'm super grateful to Uni for Palestine for organizing this, because I feel like it's very important to call out the AFL-CIO and other big unions that are not doing anything, they're not even mentioning the word Palestine when there is a genocide going on that is already taking the life of 10,000 people.
My name is Sultana, and I am an organizer with the Amazon Labor Union Democratic Reform Caucus. Union of rank-and-file workers, and the first in history to win an election at an Amazon warehouse. I'm here today to unequivocally denounce the ongoing genocide and the 75-year militarist occupation committed by the settler colony Israel against the Palestinian people.
Next up, we have the President of the National Writers Union, Larry Goldbetter.
It's very good to be part of this act of international solidarity. And I'm glad to say that our union was one of the first in North America to issue a public statement against the genocide and against the ethnic cleansing going on in Gaza. I also want to bring international greetings from our sister union, the Palestinian Journalists Syndicate. When I was at the PJS Congress last spring, half of the members of the union had to attend virtually because they weren't allowed to travel from Gaza to the West Bank to participate in union Congress. And God only knows what the situation is now. More than a journalist a day has been killed. More than 50 media outlets have been destroyed. And these are targeted assassinations.
I'm going to end with maybe a chant Luda to you. We use it up in Connecticut. Rashida Tlaib has been slammed, because she said from the rivers to the sea. And so they say, oh, that means mass murder, genocide, and so on. So we still say from the rivers to the sea, free Palestine.
No.
But we go from the river to the sea, justice and equality. So maybe we could try that. From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Justice and equality.
Justice and equality.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Justice and equality.
Justice and equality.
Thank you. Woo! Students for Justice in Palestine is being banned on many campuses in the United States. We learned today that Jewish Voice for Peace, their chapter at Columbia University, has been suspended. I'm proud to say that I'm a member of Jewish Voice for Peace here in Connecticut. We close with words of a JVP leader.
Well, I am here on behalf of hundreds of thousands of American Jews who say not in our name. Ceasefire now. Let Gaza live. Say it with me. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live.
That's our program for today. Please go out and demonstrate for justice. I'm Stanley Heller for the Struggle Video News.